Hey everyone, it's Tiffany here today, and I want to talk about your thought process and if your thought process is really what's keeping you stuck. Before I get started though, I want to remind you that you can get unstuck for only $7 a month at removemylimits.com. So I've had a couple interesting conversations with friends, with family, and with clients recently that made me realize that a lot of people think their way into getting stuck. They think their way into these situations that they can't get themselves out of. And it's actually not their fault. They don't know any better. This is how society has programmed us. It's important to know, though, that your perceptions create your reality. Because here's what happens. If you have a belief system, your brain, your unconscious mind, holds on to that belief system as though it's true. Now, every second, we have 2 million pieces of information that's coming into our unconscious mind, and only 134 pieces of that 2 million makes it to our conscious awareness. So there's a lot of information that's going missing in between the 2 million and the 134, obviously. So what happens is your brain filters out anything that doesn't match your belief systems, anything that doesn't match your perceptions and what you believe to be true, it filters out. So let's say that you think a specific person is horrible, you will filter out all the things that they do that are good. This happens in politics a lot, and I'm not going to get political in this post, but it does happen in politics where a specific politician might do a whole bunch of good and one thing bad, and because you don't like them, they're not the party that you voted for, the candidate that you voted for, you can't see all the good things that they've done. It happens with your partner. If you're like really annoyed at your significant other, it doesn't matter what they do that's good, you're only going to find things to be annoyed about. It is what happens in society and with your boss and with your colleagues. In every area of your life you do this. And so my question for you is your perception creating a reality for you that is keeping you stuck? And I want to give you a couple examples. First, make sure you head over to removemylimits.com because I have training in there that's going to get you unstuck because you're going to rewire these perceptions. So I had a client reach out to me recently. She's working on a book. She's been a little bit stuck. And she said to me, I've only written 2,000 words. And I said, that's awesome. That's 2,000 words more than you wrote last week. So you can choose to view anything as a positive or a negative. I could wake up in the morning and see that it's raining and be upset that it's raining, and it's been pretty foggy and sprinkling on and off here in Dallas today, so I could be angry about that. Or I could say, this gives me an opportunity to get caught up on a whole bunch of work, to get a whole bunch of stuff done, so that this weekend, when it's Easter weekend and it's going to be sunny, and I actually have no workshop scheduled for this weekend, that I can actually just chill out and rest and hang out with my fiance and hang out with my dog and catch up with some friends. I could wake up in the morning and feel these butterflies in my stomach on a day that I'm presenting or I'm doing a podcast interview or on a day that I know I'm about to get on stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, and I could say, oh, I'm so nervous. Or I could say, I'm so excited. The thing is that both of those emotions, fear, excitement, nervousness, they all feel the same in the body most of the time. We've just told ourselves for most of our life that that feeling is a certain way, right? And I had this recently as well, where a client contacted me and said, oh, I'm so nervous about this thing. And I said to them, how do you know it's nervous? Well, it's because that's how I always feel when I get nervous. But how do you know it's nervous? That's my question, is how do you know? How do you know the butterflies in your stomach are nerves? Well, the only way that you know is that somebody somewhere along the line has told you that butterflies in your stomach equals nerves, equals nervous, equals anxiety, equals fear. But what if it didn't? What if way back when they had told you that butterflies in your stomach meant you were really excited, that you were happy, that you were joyful? That's how you would have been labeling it. I can look at this piece of fabric and maybe all my life I've been calling this green. And then all of a sudden somebody says, no, that's pink. Well, no, it's green, because my entire life I've been calling it green. I haven't, by the way. I've been calling it pink. But it's the same thing. How do we know that this is actually pink? If I go to a different part of the world, they might call it something totally different. So my point is that your perceptions have been created largely because people have told you that's how to perceive it. I have this really strong belief that we fear failure because when we're in the school system, you fail one test and you are put in this place of guilt and shame. You're told how bad you are, or you're not good enough, or you're this or you're that. It's such a terrible thing that you failed. You know, you might get grounded by your parents, yelled at by your parents, scolded by your teacher, made to feel stupid by friends or whoever, right? Except in life, you only need to succeed one time. If you look at some of the greatest and most successful people in the world, whether it's Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Thomas Edison, all of these people, they failed multiple times. Like Donald Trump has claimed bankruptcy like 6 times, and nobody looks at him and says he's a failure, right? Oprah almost had to claim bankruptcy. She almost lost everything. Nobody looks at her and says she's a failure. And she doesn't call herself a failure because she's decided to label those things not as negatives, but as positives. So somewhere along the line, the perceptions that you're holding on to is what somebody else has told you. And you have to ask yourself, is it serving me to hold on to somebody else's belief? And I want to give one more example because I think this is really powerful. I put up a post a couple months ago, I think it was, and I put up a post about the value of $1 and how if you think it's hard to make $1, making $1 million is like so out of your wheelhouse. Like it's unimaginable to you. And somebody commented and said, well, I believe that you have to work hard for money because all the people I see around me work hard. And if you have money, you become a jerk. And so I said to them, okay, let's break this down for a second. So the people that are around you that work hard, do they make money? Do they have a lot of money? Do you envy their financial position? And the answer was, well, no. So how do you know that you have to work hard to make money? If you see all these people over here working hard and they still don't have money, then why are you choosing to take on their belief system of you have to work hard to make money to be true? Because if it was true, then they would clearly have money. And if we look at the second part of those comments, that when you have money, you become a jerk, well, do you know people who have money who are jerks? Yeah, probably. There's probably people out there, right? We hear scandals every day about the latest professional athlete who has a ton of money who does some jerk-like behavior. Or, you know, politicians, or just somebody who has money in general acting like a jerk. Do you know people who don't have money, who are broke, who are jerks? Absolutely, I do. Do you know people who have money who are good, positive people who empower others? I do. And maybe I don't know them personally, but look at Oprah. Look at what she does with her money. Look at Ellen. Look at all these other people who have foundations and things set up to give back and to help other people. So there's absolutely people out there who have money who are not jerks, who are good people. Do I know people who don't have money who are good people? Yes. So maybe money doesn't make you a good person or a jerk. Maybe money just is, and you're either a good person or a jerk, whether or not your ATM balance is one that's enviable or not. So the biggest lesson that I want you to get from this video is to start questioning the belief systems that you have. Ask yourself, how do I know this is true? Who says this is true? Where did I get it from? Because a lot of the times, the belief systems that we're holding on to aren't true, and yet we're still holding on to them for some reason. So if you're ready to let go of those belief systems, head over to removemylimits.com, get my training for $7 a month, start to rewire this so that your reality changes, because your reality starts in here. What you perceive is what you create in your reality. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you all soon.